Welcome. It is Tuesday. It is the hottest Tuesday in British history, and it is the 2022 version of July the 19th, and you're back here with me, Sean Butler, at the Spurs Talk Show, and Bugsy. She's back as well. How's everybody doing? I tell you how I'm doing. I am hot. It's about 11 o'clock, it's about 37 degrees outside, and I'm standing in the shade because I'm taking a leaf out of these bad boys' books. These little sheep, poor little sheep. They can't take their clothes off, can they? They can't put on lotion. They got to sit there wearing their same clobber that they have on in winter on days like today. Look at them all hugging up against the fence here in the shade. The one little bit of their field that's in the shade. All of them, there's loads of them. They are so hot, all of them. Poor little bastards. How you doing, guys? Haven't done a Spurs Talk Show morning walk for a while. Thought I'd change it up. Thought I'd keep everybody guessing. Checking that you're guessing and seeing when I'm flowing and streaming and things. That's right. Watching you guys. Watching you, watching me. Anyway. What is happening, boys and girls? What is happening? Well, I'll tell you what's happening. In a couple of days' time, we've got the third game of the pre-season system. We're playing against Rangers. I say in a couple of days' time. I'm using the word couple loosely. I really mean in a few days' time, because it's 5 days' time, because today's Tuesday and it's Saturday. So, on Saturday, we're playing against Rangers, and it's going to be spicy. I think it's going to be spicy like Seville. I don't think it will be as spicy as the Roma game the following week over in Israel, but I do think it will be spicy. It's going to be exciting. You know why it's going to be exciting? Because most of the first team of the new signings are back. So we're going to see Fraser Foster, him and Basuma, who had COVID and are still, I think, or until today maybe were in Korea. I think they're flying back today, tonight, tomorrow, something like that. We're going to see Fraser Foster. We're going to hopefully see half an hour out of Perisic. Hopefully we're going to see Clement Longley. Perisic obviously has carried an injury since he's joined Tottenham, and I think he's pretty much over it now. We're going to see 30 minutes out of him, which will be super exciting. We're going to see Clement Longley, who missed out on the career trips. He didn't have his visas and documentation, etc. in time. We're going to see Basuma again. He's back. Kulusevski, I'm not sure. Haven't seen any news whether he's back fighting fit yet. Oh, he must be fit. Sorry, what am I talking about? Because he played against second half, didn't he? Against Seville. So yeah, we'll see him as well. So, you know, of the new boys that have signed, thus far, we've only seen one of them in Richarlison. We haven't seen Foster, we haven't seen Perisic, we haven't seen Basuma, we haven't seen Jed Spence, he's not the one that could play, and we haven't seen Longley. All of those players could play a part against Rangers on Saturday. Bugsy, come here please. Bubba, come here. Good girl. Let me know in the comments, who do you want to see? Do you want to see us like still experimenting right now with the two different 11s mixed with first team and second team players during both 45 minutes? Or would you like to see a period of the game, say 30 minutes, where you have the entire close to, if not first choice 11 on the pitch at the same time? Like for me, I want to see Lloris in goal. I do want to see Foster in goal, but I'm not worried about that for this specific part of the conversation. Lloris in goal. I want to see a back three of Longley, Dyer, Romero. I want to see Perisic and Jed Spence, or Perisic and Doherty, because I've had enough of seeing Doherty on the left. Had enough of it. I want to see him in his right position, or Jed Spence. And then I want to see Basuma and Bentancur. And then I want to see Sonny, Kane and Kulu. Or Sonny, Kane and Richarlison. but Sonny Kane Kula, I think, is the starting 11. I would like to see us have that 11 on the pitch at the same time for a slug of the game against Rangers, and then pending it all goes well, then a higher amount of minutes in the game against Roma. Because we need those time, we need those, whilst it's important to get everyone minutes on the pitch and get their fitness up and match fit, etc. I also think that it's important to see the chemistry build, hopefully before game day 1 of the season. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know, who do you want to see in the starting 11? Who do you want to see? Do you agree with me that that is the best first choice 11 on paper? If not, who do you want to see in front of it? Moving on to transfer news, views and clues. Not a lot going on today in the press. Saw one article about, I think his name's John Wenham, who's a Tottenham insider. He was just saying what an absolute disaster Ndombele's been. Still got 3 years left on his contract and 200 grand a week salary. So tearing up his contract would cost 30 million quid, which is never going to happen. And there is literally nobody who's interested in him. Nobody. Ndombele's agents are actively trying to tout him around. So it's not like he's sat on his thumbs and wants to just run his contract down necessarily. He wants out as much as we want him out, but nobody wants nobody wants him. Nobody wants him at all, especially not on the salary. And so John Wenham saying, I think his name's John Wenham. So John Wenham is saying he's basically going to end up going to like a proper low division, like a lower team in the top division of the French league, and Tottenham will have to pick up like 80-90% of his wages, and then try and go through the same nonsense next season. It's just a absolute disaster. In other news, whilst I'm sitting here melting, Paratici apparently is back over in Italy for like the 84th time in the last couple of months. This time he's trying to negotiate, or potentially negotiate, a loan with an option to buy for Tanganga to AC Milan. AC Milan obviously trying to replicate the success that they had by doing something similar a few years ago with Tomori from Chelsea, and look how well he's done in at Milan, and they want to do the same thing. Tanganga's obviously had a bad injury that's kind of disrupted his progress at Tottenham over the last couple of years, or over the last season rather, since kind of bursting onto the scene under Jose Mourinho in 2020. Shut up! I'm going to play with you now. 1 second, guys. Go. Anyway, so whilst Paratici's there, he also wants to maybe try and organise the future of Brian Hill with the possible club Sampdoria as an option. And I don't know how I feel about both of these transfers, right? So first of all, Brian Hill, I kind of feel like same as last season, right? If there's clubs within the Premier League that could loan him and that are not getting the opportunity to, and you'd rather send him to Spain, and then you'd rather send him to Italy in the second season, then to me, it's more of a shop window exercise. You're kind of putting on display over 2 seasons across 2 continents, across 2 countries in the continent, and giving everybody a much better chance to see him, with a view to move him on in a year's time. And that's a shame, really, because maybe they've made the decision. Maybe they've made the decision that he's just not cut out for our system and our philosophy, and that it was poorly timed transfer. And if so, that's fine. But if there is any desire to see what he can do and have him a part of Tottenham's future, then to me, loaning him out to 2 different leagues where the system and the style of football is not the same just doesn't benefit anybody. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm imagining that Brian Hill probably doesn't have a future at Tottenham, and this is just an exercise to try and, as I say, conjure up some interest over the next 12 months and then look to move him on next summer, probably. In terms of the Japhet Tanganga one, It's another interesting one, right? Look, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit confused about the whole homegrown rule thing with Europe, because I think there's something different. It's not just about players that come from England. It's obviously players that trained in England. You know, like Eric Dyer. Where's your ball? Eric, shut up. Eric Dyer doesn't count because, whilst he's English, he grew up in Portugal. Ben Davies doesn't count because he grew up in Wales, right? And that's not counted as homegrown. And so, but Japhet Tanganga, both he's English and grew up and played for 3 years before the age of 21 at Tottenham Hotspur. So he definitely counts as a homegrown. And I think we need at least 4 or maybe 5 players that were kind of trained under the age of 21 for 3 years at Tottenham Hotspur. And we don't have that if we let go of both Tanganga and Winks, as far as I understand. I could be butchering this, but we can let go of one of them, but not both of them. And so, if we're going to let go of Tanganga, does that mean that Winks is going to stay? I hope not. I really hope not, because first of all, I think that I'd probably prefer Tanganga to stay over Sanchez, even though I think Sanchez has just about got the edge in the right-sided centre-back slot. Just about got the edge, not really. I do think there's obviously value to having homegrown players, not just for this season, but for seasons coming forward as well. And so, it doesn't make a lot of sense if we're going to get rid of him and then have to keep Harry Winks. And I don't think we are going to have to keep or want to keep Harry Winks. We want to let him go as well. Where he goes, I don't know. But maybe if we are letting go of Tanganga and we're going to let go of Harry Winks, then does that give more credibility to getting somebody like Tielemans in? Not Tielemans, James Maddison. Because he's English, he's homegrown, he counts, he ticks all the boxes. And so maybe if we're letting go of Tanganga, maybe Harry Winks will go to Leicester and we could get James Maddison, then they keep their homegrown quota as it is and we can keep ours as it is as well. And then we just pay them some difference in the cash plus player. Maybe the Tanganga news, if there's truth to that, maybe it adds a little bit more credibility to the idea that we are going to go and get an English homegrown midfielder. Or another defender. I don't know if there's another defender. Maybe the guy from Crystal Palace, Guehi, I think his name is. I'm not even sure if he's English actually. I think he is. Yeah, he must be. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's interesting to me. Again, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think that that the whole thing about Tanganga is a smokescreen, doesn't make any sense to let him go? Or do you think that does make sense and it means that we're probably going to get someone like a Maddison or maybe a James Ward-Prowse or somebody else that can come in and help us out with the quota, given that Harry Winks, we all hope, is also long gone from Tottenham before the start of the season. That's about it. Not much else to really get too excited about, guys. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to finish off walking and watering my dog. And I'd love to ask you to please hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we're going to go live today. At some point we are going to go live. I think maybe this afternoon, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. We're going to go live for a couple of hours, talk about a little bit about the news that's coming out, talk about the Rangers game, talk about some formation things, and maybe do a bit of reviews of potential right wing back, other options, comparing Jed Spence to Doherty and Emerson, talk about that stuff. Maybe we're going to look at some creative midfielders, compare the likes of Ward-Prowse to Maddison, to Tielemans, to all the other players that we've been linked with in that particular role, and then see how you feel and we feel about that. Something's going to happen this afternoon, I'm pretty sure of it. Like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, guys, as always, bye bye.